that we may put our knowledge into revolutionary practice.
Gives at least some protection to 30 millions of our citizens who will reap direct benefits through unemployment compensation, through old age pensions, and through increased services for the protection of children and the prevention of ill health.
That was kind of scary at first.
A new world order where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind: peace and security, freedom.
I am today ordering a freeze on all prices and wages throughout the United States for a period of 90 days.
The college is an institution which stands in the place of the parent, implying restriction instead of freedom, tutorial rather than professorial teaching, and residence within college halls. But a university is a place for advanced and special instruction of youth who have been prepared for their freedom by the discipline of a lower school.
It reminds us once again that when our security is involved, we are not partisans of any kind. We are Americans.
But on December 15, 1952, the United States Supreme Court declared Oklahoma's special oath law for teachers to be unconstitutional. Schools in different places could be studied and compared, and their accomplishments rated.
There will be laid before the Congress proposed legislation to remove legal barriers to the exchange of appropriate technological information with friendly countries.
As I leave the presidency,
and for all the latest news and information about coronavirus.
Hi there, everybody. Welcome to Plunder World Workshop. My name is James, and we're going to open up a box of cards today because, believe it or not, I don't even have a full set of my own cards. And that's just because I've been trying to sell a bunch over at the local card conventions, gun shows, coin conventions, comic book shows. I even did a couple of parking lot pop-ups. I'll never do those again because, okay, while we wait for a few more people to show up, I'll go over some highs and some lows, okay? And take this advice with a grain of salt, because if you've ever had to make your own stuff, I mean like from scratch, well, then you got to get out there and you got to sell it to people, okay? You've got to present it. And anybody that's probably watching this is familiar with the cards. If you're new, then believe me, you'll see what they're all about. Okay, they're a lot of fun, and considering the assault of absolutely horrifying news that we're bombarded with, this is kind of a fun way to escape. So, back to the shows. It's been very successful when it comes to just like card shows. Whether it's collectible card games like the Pokemon or the One Piece. By the way, I'm not into any of that, but man, I've learned a lot, okay? It's kind of shocking just how intricate it all is. And so this past weekend, I was over at Margaritaville Resort in Lake Conroe, and that was a great show. There was a lot of folks that turned out, and I got to meet a lot of happy parents, let's just say that. And believe it or not, there was a bunch of kids and even teenagers that were very interested. They liked seeing something new being presented. And the job is a little more difficult on my end because, you know, like I've said in the past to other people, that I know I'm selling dog food at a cat show, okay? It's basically rooms and rooms full of dealers, and they have all these rare cards and these hard slabs, and all of these collectors are going from table to table looking to trade, make deals. They already know what they're looking for, and so I see their eyes. They look at my table display, and it's literally like, if I'm lucky, 5 seconds. Scan, oh, that's not what I want, buy. And so in order to get their attention, I go ahead and hand them a sticker, okay? I got some cool Plunder World stickers, and I'll probably end up be giving some of those away. So the first thing you have to do is get their attention. And so I give out a free goodie. Hi there, would you like a free sticker? And that gets their attention. Of course, they love stickers. Plus, they're carrying around these cases loaded up with all their rare cards and slabs, and so they want to, put some stickers on it. And so that gets their attention. And that gives me, maybe if I'm lucky, about 10 seconds to give them my pitch. And so I've got to get their attention. And and I've practiced a lot of lines. I've practiced everything from, hey, try something different, or that was when I did my first show. But then I've gone into, I've asked them, hey, by the way, how do you stay informed? That doesn't really get a lot of response. But the one thing that gets a lot of response is, hey, check out the trading cards that I made. I created them. I researched them. They're all mine. Now that gets their attention. They go, what? Wait. You made these? I go, yes. And so that gives me a way to open up and expand and show them all my wares. Now the clock's still ticking because in the back of their mind, they obviously are there to get their Pokemon or their baseball cards. And so I show off the fact that they're in packs. I have a full pack display there. I've got stacks of boxes. And then I just start asking them, are there any subjects that you're interested in when it comes to history? Because I guarantee you I've probably got a card about it. And when there's a lot of people going through those conventions, I'd say about 1 out of 10 will at least get a pack. That's fine. Then if there's parents nearby, they'll even maybe even grab a box. So all in all, I'd say between Saturday and Sunday, we did about 7 full boxes. I'd say nearly 2 full boxes of packs, which is pretty good for me. Okay. Now all that money from the conventions is going in to pay for the printing of Series 2. I'm out there working every weekend. I'm doing everything I can. I'm even doing a bunch of side hustles, and I'll tell you about those. So, what are we doing tonight? Well, believe it or not, let me transition over here. Believe it or not, I don't even have a full set of my own cards. Okay? So, I've got my handy-dandy book here, and let's just flip that open. And believe it or not, I've got some holes. Okay? And I've got them all arranged just the way they should be. And let me make some space. Got a new setup here, so bear with me. Just don't want my audio to drop out like it typically does. All right. So we're going to go through here and open up a box, and I'm going to try to go ahead and complete my set of my own cards. And then with some extras, what we're going to do is give them away. So what I would encourage anybody watching right now is reach out to any of your friends online and say, hey, check out this link because this crazy guy who made a whole bunch of conspiracy cards is giving them away. And I think they're a blast. And for anybody who does not know what Plunder World is, it is the greatest trading card set ever made. These are the trading cards I've always wanted, okay? And I've been reading about this kind of material for years. And I had a couple of epiphanies a while ago because I bought a series of books from Connor Boyack called The Tuttle Twins. I've told this story before on many streams, but I thought they were fantastic. They're simple, Curious George style stories about volunteerism, economics, going into business for yourself, basically just good volunteerism principles. I would hasten to say they're libertarian. I just think that they're good, practical ideas to implant seeds into children's minds when it comes to complex subjects. So the second thing is that I wanted more material like this, and I thought it's a little frustrating when teenagers are getting out of high school and even in high school, they're kind of stuck in this state of permanent adolescence based on the nostalgia that they grew up with. I'm no different. Fortunately, I escaped the video game trap. I don't own a video game system, and I got out of that years ago because I saw it for what it was. Okay, it was just a time. It was a time waster. That's just me. It's not like a judgment call. I just don't think that, when you get responsibilities and you got to go ahead and get on with your life and build a future, you want to squeeze every moment you can. Okay. That's kind of how I've always felt about life in general is, yeah, you only got one life, and you might as well milk it for every drop you got. Okay. And if it's going to be in front of a screen playing video games, then I think you're wasting quite a bit of your time. Well, anyways, I was thinking about like trading cards, and I know years ago there was the INWO Illuminati card game. And I do remember seeing it. I do remember getting some packs. I do remember thinking, oh my gosh, this is just like the kind of stuff that, the scary books that my dad reads and my uncle reads. And the problem is that I felt like the stock of the cards felt a little cheap. I didn't like the idea that it was a game. I thought one entire side of the card was wasted. And it just wasn't my thing. I wanted like cards that detailed the actual, or summarized some snippets of history. Around the same time, there was an imprint by DC Comics called Paradox Press, and they made a series of books called The Big Book of. And there was like The Big Book of Little Criminals, or Big Book of Grim Fairy Tales. There was one or two about the paranormal, about conspiracies, about the 70s. I love those books. They were just comic book form summaries of just one particular wild topic. And I thought that was a great bridge medium. You're getting out of adolescence, you're getting into adulthood, and you're getting into more and more mature things. It's like a stepladder into some deep dive material. I wasn't ready for big thick tomes, and I wasn't ready for in-depth history about royal families and bloodlines. But I did like the comic books. And so I was talking about it with my family about how frustrated I was that there wasn't more material like this. It'd be kind of cool if there was some cards. And so my lovely wife spoke up and said, hey, why don't you make it yourself? And I'm like, okay, I will. And then I'd say finally the one thing that got me off my butt to do it was after watching a couple weeks of Grand Theft World with Tony Meyer, Richard Grove, and their engineer, LD. And, what stood out to me is that Richard Grove has a gigantic library, and he's showing off some of the books that my father had and that I have. And that struck me as interesting because, I read, and I didn't really do well at it because I wouldn't bookmark pages. I would read things that I thought were interesting. I'd highlight some things, but then I'd close the book, and it wouldn't go anywhere. Okay, I wouldn't remember it. It's not like when you close the book, you're going to remember where the information's at. And so Grand Theft World showed me, okay, if you're serious about this and you've read it and you want to sound intelligent, well, then put some effort into your own source material. Bookmark it, okay? Make notes. Connect the dots, because if you don't, then you sound like a babbling idiot. So I owe a lot of credit to them. Fantastic program. Tune in every week when you can. It's a new lineup now in a bit of a different format, which is fine with me. I think they still just knock it out of the park when it comes to deep dive information. Okay. So I've been freelance video and photo production for decades. And so I'm fairly handy with a camera and Photoshop and a lot of editing software. And so I took the plunge and made a set of trading cards. But I wanted them to be like dense. And so what we got here, for anybody new to this material, is I made a set of trading cards, but I wanted it to be fun, just like the old days, where you've got 36 packs in a box. I did plenty of research. I thought, well, what's changed over the years when it comes to trading cards? Because I used to get baseball cards and basketball cards, and it was always 36 packs in a box. But that's not the case anymore. No. Now there's a huge reshaping of the collecting market, where if you go to the grocery store or Walmart, you're only going to get the basic kind of cards, and you're lucky if there's maybe 15 packs in a box, and maybe there's like 5 or 6 cards in a pack, and you're not even getting like the super special awesome cards. Those cards you have to get direct from, say, a cards shop, because they have a direct line from a special distributor. And then if you want the elite super, rip your brains out, sacrifice a child to Moloch card, then you have to order a special kind of box directly from the distributor. And I know there's a brand called Bowman, and I'm not kidding. Look this up. You can order this. I mean, it's like a suitcase with a handle and like, I don't know if there's locks on it or whatever, but it's like, I don't know, it's like $2,000 or something, and you open it up, and there's like maybe 6 cards in it, but they're guaranteed to be worth like a ton of money. I mean, I don't know how that works, but I mean, my Lord, it's intimidating, and I've seen some of these cards for sale at these trade shows, and oh man, and then you have the whole advent of card grading. Well, they'll take a card and they'll put it in a permanent plastic case, and it's been rated and graded, and that affects its value. Of course, you have to pay money to get your card graded, and I'm just new to all of this. This blows my mind. Long gone are the days where you just take your cards and put them in some sleeves and then put it on your shelf. That doesn't exist anymore, at least for the hardcore collector. So I wanted to make things fun. I wanted to make it to where, like, collecting, or at least getting some cards, would be a social activity where you would have like a group of friends over, and you could open a box of cards and have some laughs, and show off some things, have some conversation. Not just, oh, bro, look what I got, bro, and everybody freaks out because you got something super rare. No. It should be a social thing. And so I collected all of well, not all, but definitely a list of really, really spicy topics that basically profile the people, events, and technology responsible for the state of the world today. That's part of my pitch when people come to my table at these card shows. And I put a lot of effort into my presentation, and I want to get into that. We're going to open this box, but this is my, I just want to get this off my chest. I notice that, when you have to put effort into something that you have made, you have to believe in it, okay? You have to treat it like not like a baby, but you have to give it the kind of love, and you have to want it. You want it to grow. You have to put so much love and attention into it. You have to be your own biggest fan. And so when I talk about my cards at a show, I'm excited about it because I truly believe, and I know that my cards are the greatest cards in the entire building, okay? You're not going to see anything like this anywhere else in the building, okay? And you will be back, I promise. And sometimes people come back, okay? Now, maybe we can talk a little more detail a little later, but let's get down to business, all right? So, I'm not paying attention to the stream right now. So if there's any questions or whatever, you can type them in, and maybe we'll check on them a little later, and I'll answer any questions. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open this box, and I'm gonna try to fill in some holes in my collection. And then I know there's a couple people that have been reaching out to me about how they can complete their collection, and because I'm so nice and because I care about all of you, just reach out to me with your holes, and I will go ahead and see if I don't have any extras that I can mail to you. Now, if you've already bought a box or two in the past, hey, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. So, on the house, okay? But if you're new to Plunder World and you would like to get some of these free cards, well, why don't you, scratch my back a little bit, okay? Follow me on Instagram or X, or say hi, or even better yet, pre-order a box of Series 2, because that'll really, really help me out, okay? Because I'm getting close to the goal, but, man, I sure do need some more. So here we go. I mean, if y'all want the box, I could, send you the box too. It's going to be empty, but I can autograph it for you. I don't know. I mean, somebody out there wanted it autographed, and I sent them an autographed box. That's pretty cool. Never had anybody ask for my autograph. So, all right, here we go. We're gonna move this underneath my other camera. Let's see. I think that'll work. All right. There we go. Now, what's cool about these, if I move my mic over a little bit, is we got some tear tabs over here, because I want it to be easy to open for folks. And then while we're going along here, I can... Okay, so what do we got? All right, we got a Black Border Bohemian Grove. We got some Berry Seal, Vaccine Protection Act, George Dooley, or Duel. I never got the pronunciation of that one. Gold Allen Dulles, Gold Martine Rothblatt, Gold Income Tax. All right, we'll rip through some of these others. So while we're going along here, I do have other shows coming up here in the Houston area. I would like to get out of Texas for some shows, but it's kind of hard, okay? You got to drive everywhere, and you got to make sure the table fee is the right price. I mean, the big convention center here is the George R. Brown Convention Center, and they have shows there, but dude, they're like $800-900 a table, and I'm not exactly sure if I can hack that for now. Space weapons. Oh, this one was all gold border. That's cool. 10 planks. Got botanical car, postmodernism, prohibition. Now, I have tried some gun shows. Now, you would think that would be the perfect crowd for this kind of product. And I'm here to tell you that's not the case. Those people that I met at the gun shows, they only know one constitutional amendment. Gee, can you guess which one? And you show them this stuff, and they just blink at you, and they're not quite as informed as you think they would be. I think the only people that were making money off those gun shows, besides the gun dealers, were the people selling jerky and snacks. There's some big people, too. All right. So this, we'll get this stack a little more tidy, and then we'll go through the binder. Maybe we'll do a little break in between packs. By the way, the box art for Series 2 and the pack art is pure fire. Let me tell you. I'm really stepping up the game when it comes to design. And yes, I am working on Series 3, but it's a lot to balance, okay? I mean, it's full-time all the time, no matter the time. Trilateral Commission, Johann Lang, Porgos, Janet Airlines, Aspartame, Colonel House. By the way, that guy's buried here in Houston. He's in the same cemetery as Howard Hughes. I think that should be more well known. It's amazing how many people in Houston don't even know that. But there's a lot about Houston I don't know either, and I've been here for decades. In fact, anybody from the area probably knows Thunderbolt Transmission. Well, I know all the words to their theme song. see, we got the 1033 program. I got a sequel card for that coming in Series 2. Okay, Diamonds, Mount Carmel Door, Bernard Baruch. Ooh, I don't have him at all, so that's a good find. The Finders. Hey, and I got my first shiny. All right, what we got? It's the Sherman, wait, who is that again? Yeah, the Sherman Silver Purchase Act. I don't think I have that one, so that will fit nicely into the binder. Don't worry, there's plenty of other ultra rare cards in this box, but I'm going to set that bad boy aside because I need him. The card, I mean. Okay. And then, let's see, some of the things I've noticed about the card shows also is every now and then there's somebody there that wants to, like, question my politics, and that's fine. I mean, as long as they're talking to me, that's what I want. I want people to talk to me. And so they'll ask me if I'm left or if I'm right, and I always say the same thing, and it's I'm neither. I'm just pro-freedom, anti-tyranny, bar none. Solomon. Okay, Rothschild. I've got his contemporary at the time. Let's see. In Series 2, I've got his cohort, August Belmont, as a follow-up. I like doing follow-up cards. I think that's pretty cool. See if we can build out this set. So, Sykes-Picot agreement, biometrics. You know, while I'm going along here, I should mention, I did meet a really kind fellow who owns a couple of card stores around Houston, and he was very happy and very nice about, you know, somebody nearby who's making their own product. And he was asking me all kinds of questions about whether or not I have a distributor and how I can get them into stores and if I could offer him like a volume discount. And those are the kind of people I want to meet at these shows. Yeah, I'd love to have these cards at shops. If anybody knows how to do that or how to make it an easier process than the way I imagine it, then please reach out. It's a collaborative effort. And then we're also going to have, at some point, there is going to be a card game. I've faced the music. I get so many questions about when I'm going to make a card game. And I don't know the first thing about making a card game. But Scott Abrams over at the History Homos is a card game enthusiast. And he's given me a few ideas. I'd like to give him a big thank you. And I'll see if we can't make that happen. I'll make it as, I don't know the rules, but anybody that wants to be a part of it can help me as well. You'll definitely get some mentions and at least the bare minimum, free set, okay? We'll work on other forms of compensation as I figure it out. And looks like I got another shiny. And we got the Dirt and Grief Medal. That's all about the Havara Agreement, or the Transfer Agreement, as it's also called. That right there is a real coin that if you ever see it at some antique mall or shop, you better get your hands on it because that is a hard-to-find item. I think you can actually see auction listings for that going into the 6 digits. Okay. I think I've already got that one, so that one might be a giveaway. I hope you're paying attention because once we go through all these, I'm going to load them up into my binder, and then any extras, we'll see if we can't find a happy home for them. Now, I can't mail you, like, all of them. That's not how this is going to work. I figure that, let's be fair here, if you're missing quite a few cards, I'll see what can be done, but I'm not going to send you the entire stack. We'll work out something. Maybe, if you're missing like 10 or 15 or 5 or 3. I think priority goes to people that have already purchased a box or two. That's only fair. if you're new to this, I don't mind sending you some cards as a sample, but let's keep it to like, 3 to 5. And I think it's understood that it should be only in the United States. I can't really afford to ship these all over the world. But there's been a Canadian friend who's had some pretty good ideas. I mean, if you've got a partner or two across the border or whatever, then I think you can figure out how to avoid certain duty fees when it comes to getting a box or two of cards. And I think after this one, we ought to maybe figure out which ones can fit in the binder right away. There's 7 cards in a pack, everybody. And I've got these little tear tabs on every pack, so they're supposed to be easier to open than a typical pack of cards. Somebody did ask me at the show if anybody's ever put them in slabs. I don't know. If you have, I'd tell me about it. I'd be really curious if you're into that sort of thing. All right. So we're going to open some more a little later, but let's get our stack together. Whew. I got to lean. I'm sweating a little bit. Plus, I'm not good at this stream thing, so you got to bear with me. And we'll put those down. And you know what? Let's just keep going back to the cards. You don't need to see my ugly face the entire time. I probably should have done like an open the box video a while ago, but I don't know. I just think those are kind of silly, but I don't know what people like or what they don't like. I'm making this up as I go. I've never really quite fit into any social group anyway. I was always either too, I was not really a jock, even though I was in high school sports. I didn't really hang out with too many jocks. I didn't sit at the dork table, and I definitely wasn't good looking enough for like the popular crowd. So I don't know. It probably sounds like a lot of people that might be into these cards too. I always read the weird books. I always got caught with strange stuff at school that got me in trouble, but it wasn't like obscene material either. Like, it was just stuff that would make the teacher question, like, what's, are you really, really into this kind of stuff? Like, for example, there was a book that I was reading because in high school, we had to take this really dumb social studies class that had fake United Nations meetings. And we were introduced to how the United Nations worked. And my father didn't care too much for that. And so he gave me a book to read. And it was all about the founding of the United Nations and all the awful crimes committed by their peacekeeping corps and what who founded it, and the whole Huxley story about UNESCO. And my social studies teacher saw it on my desk, and she wanted to know what I was reading, and she was taken aback. She's like, well, what? I don't know what to think of this, I mean, the United Nations is a good thing. So, so what she did is she wrote a letter to my father about how great the United Nations was and how he ought to reconsider the kind of material that he's letting his boy read. And that started off a bit of an argument. And the irony about it is that I remember getting in trouble in that class because, some kid was throwing paper balls at me, and I turned around and I told him, "Bite me." And so she didn't like that. So she sent me to the principal's office, and I was in trouble because I said "bite me" to another student. Of course, the comeuppance here, well, not really a comeuppance, it's just the name of the teacher that was so upset. Her last name was spelled Hossel. A-R. And it's pronounced exactly like you think it is. So I find it a little ironic that she would get upset over that. Speaking of education, that's one of my favorite subjects, is researching the origins of progressive education and the frontier thinkers, as they're called. This clown, George Counts, invented social studies. And you can read all of his journals and theories about turning children into socialists. All of his stuff is on archive.org. Very, very sick, onion-sucking Soviet. And his contemporaries are like Harold Rugg and Paul Hanna and John Dewey. Okay, Porter Goss. Still looking for another couple of those shinies. I think I'm missing like 2 or 3 of the ultra rare shiny cards. And if y'all got any questions, just please ask away. I will probably check here in a little bit. Oh, I see a shiny in the back. By the way, that's one of my favorite images. I took that photo right there at the Waugh Bridge here in Houston. Just somebody left a bunch of locks right there on the bridge. Get a good shot of downtown. And that pretty much sums up the lockdown. We'll go through some of these a little later, but if anybody's new to Plunder World cards, then what you're getting will become obvious a little later when we go through the binder. And, oh, I don't have that one yet. That's the 64 Coinage Act. Now, that's supposed to be a bit of a play on words. It's actually the 1965 Coinage Act, but the reason it says 64 is because they ended up using the same stamp for the quarter of 1964. So that's why you might find some 64 quarters with silver in them, and some are just pure clad. Okay? So might be a little confusing to some people, but if you've ever found a silver quarter and it says 64, you got lucky. Those aren't supposed to be around. And I need that card, so hot dog. I might actually get a full set, because I've often been asked, how many boxes does it take to get a complete set? Well, I don't know, but I've opened one box, and I don't have a complete set. So, let's go for 2. Okay. Now, if you notice, there are these different colored borders, and that'll become important a little bit later, because it's not just the same artwork with a different border. No, I'm not going to do that. I would feel ripped off if I paid good money for a big box of cards, and the only difference was just the border. Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm not going to do that to anybody. That's not cool. So, the way it works is that there are 90 subjects in every series. And there might be more in the future. I don't know. And so, on the back of every card is there's 90 subjects, and every subject is divided into 3 cards, and they're labeled with a gold, silver, or black border. And on the back, they're numbered with a either chemical symbol for gold. Oh, I should have set this up better for my stream. I'm all new at this. Or there's a chemical symbol for silver there by the number. And then the black card doesn't have anything next to the number. It's just bare bones the number. And the S stands for the series. So this is series 1. Okay? And then that way when you put it in your binder... Oh, I'm going to shift my dadgum camera. There we go. That way when you put it in your binder, then you've got all 3 cards next to each other, and you can turn them over and, read the whole tale. I know a lot of you probably have figured that out, but you'd be amazed how much I have to explain. I do want to continually thank the fine gentleman at Wake of Truth. You can see his stuff on YouTube. And a couple months ago, he ordered a bunch of boxes and opened them with his son online. And I think that is just fantastic because his son was into it. And he made it a father-son ordeal. And that's exactly what I want. I want family members, I want friends to absolutely just have fun doing this. Okay. How are we doing? And I will do a little sip of coffee, take a little vape break, and then I want to show people the just a little break here. Something else I've been trying to do. Here's a little tip. If you're at a market or if you're at a convention and let's say you're selling a product, handmade product, whatever, you don't just want that one product. You want to try to do everything you can to get eyeballs on your table. Okay, if you just have a bare little small product and extra space on your table, you got to think of some other way to fill that space. I don't care if it's with books, I don't care if it's with photos, I don't care if it's with clothes, something, even if it's not for sale. Okay, because people could see a bare table a mile away and they're going to avoid you. And so I don't just put cards on my table. No, I put a binder there with the samples, and I put stickers all over the place. They're free. Take one. And then I also have some books that are well bookmarked and I think are pretty compelling if I get into conversations with people and I can show them some stuff about history. I've also started making 8x10 prints of some of my favorite cards, and I made some prints of Series 2. And I do try to sell those, but it also gives people something else to look at and flip through and stay at the table longer. The whole point of having extra stuff at your table is to get people to stay longer. The longer you can make them stay, the more opportunities there are to get a sale. And then going to sports card shows, something stuck out to me is that there are a lot of kids that are going there and they're wearing ball caps and jerseys, not from players that they like, but from their own little league teams. And that gave me an idea. Now, in my regular 9-to-5 work, I do all kinds of video and photo jobs, everything from real estate to food to corporate. And something I've done in the past is I actually make homemade trading cards. Okay? Now these aren't professionally printed, but they look pretty good. Okay? If any of you have received the prototype cards that I do for Plunder World, then these are pretty much the same kind. Okay? I mean, these things are solid. Yeah. Because when I was a kid, I always wanted a trading card of myself when I was in youth sports. And then when the photographer would come around and take pictures and then we'd get our card, it was basically just it was just a one-sided floppy photo print. And it was a terrible pose, like you're on a knee and you got your bat over your shoulder and there's trees behind you. No, I wanted like an action pose. I wanted like cool effects like I see in the sports cards. And so I started doing that for companies and youth sports, and they're a hit. Okay, I'll make a whole set of cards for each individual player or employee, and I do all this at home. And they sell great. And so, because I see these kids walking around the conventions, this I also put on my table in nice, handsome displays with signage as a separate service. Because even if they're not into these Plunder World cards, then at least I've got something else that they can be interested in. Okay? So, slight deviation, and we'll get back to the cards. I think this is worth talking about. Just get a little close-up shot of these so you can see them. But no, I do all the special effects. I do all the photography on site. And I make cards. And I even make cards to hand out to potential clients. That way they can reach me, and there's an intake form. So I can go to a baseball game or a football game or an office party or a factory and make cool promotions for their employees as like giveaways or team building material. But when it comes to when it comes to all this, I don't care what you do. You've got some access to resources, whether it's a garage full of garden tools or an uncle with a hot rod or, that cousin that is great at, editing music and you play guitar. My point is that you need to multiply your skills. Okay. I'm doing everything out of order. And I'm making every kind of mistake known, but I'm having fun doing it. But it starts with knowing what skill sets you have. Like, I'm really good with a camera, especially photography. But for years, when I take photos, it's a contract job or it's for a client where it just disappears into the void of the internet. And I never see it again. And it's forgotten about. So I've always wanted something that's like physical. I feel like when it's an item you can actually see and hold, then it's going to have more value to whoever has it. And I'm getting into trading cards. You multiply your skills to where you can add photography to making cards, but you target it towards a group of people that are going to appreciate it. How are they going to see it? Well, I'm going to card shows anyway, and I'm already selling a difficult product. Well, let's put it next to a less difficult product that sports card collectors can relate to. And these young kids, they see this and like, oh, wow, you could do that? I go, yeah, here, take one. You got my contact information, and the parents are into it, and then before you know it, I get a couple of intake forms, and I got the rest of my week booked. Okay? And then I can continue working on Plunder World cards. All right, so let's get back to the unwrapping. By the way, you can reach me on X. You can reach me on on Instagram. And you can also reach me through the email, plunderworld@protonmail.com. Let's see. And this actually was inspired by a fan who was showing off her cards and got me thinking about how, it's really touching to know that people out there care so much about getting a full set of these. I mean, that makes me feel so nice. I mean, I'm so grateful for everybody that is put up with the stress of getting their boxes of cards. I'm so thankful for everybody, and the fact that this fan wants to complete her set. This video is for you, and you know who you are. And she actually was on a fantasy football league with me last year, and every single time I went up against her, she just smoked my wagon, let me tell you. But then again, I've never been good at fantasy football. It's like, okay, yeah, that guy. Okay. And then he gets injured. And then all right. Anthrax attack, ADHD, manufacturer certificate of origin, depleted uranium. Oh, wait, I need this one too. Hey, I got my Nixon shock. Oh, yes. I think I might actually get a full set of shinies tonight. I think I'm one shiny away from a full set of shinies. Okay. I like it. Dun, dun, dun. One of these tabs opens a little easier than the other. There we go. Yeah, I didn't have Nixon shock. So for the ultra rare cards in Series 2, okay, let me back up. So the ultra rare cards for Series 1 detail the, okay, here's a good example. Sorry, I distract myself. So we got George Dooley, and we have the silver card, and we have the black card. And if we turn them over, then there's different parts to the story. And if you want more information about George Dooley, then I would highly recommend the book Barry and the Boys by, what's his name, Hofstetter? Yeah. What's his first name? His last name's Hofstetter, and we just tragically lost that guy, I think, about a year or two ago. But George Julius featured prominently in that book, Burying the Boys. If I had time, and I'll probably do it at some point, I probably should go through every single subject and every single card and just go through all the resources and information for each subject. Honestly, I'm resisting that idea because that's kind of what I already did for the card. And so it's it's kind of like, because, man, making this first series was, man, like I said, I was making every mistake, and I've been through every card like 800 times. Oh, and I got another shiny. Okay, now that one I definitely already have. So that one, along with the Dirt and Grief medal, can be something that any of you needing to complete your set just might want to reach out and let me know. And who knows, maybe this will wind up in your mailbox here shortly. Okay, that's pretty good. See, I made the first print run a little generous with the ultra rare cards. I want people that get on board with this thing to, get their money's worth. I'm speaking of that, I do get asked by some of the younger children at these trade shows. I mean, they blink at me so innocently and they go, "Are these cards worth anything?" And I thought that, wow, what an interesting question, because what that means is that they're going after cards because they want something that's worth a lot of money. And I tell them, I'm like, nope. My job is to make you worth something. My job is to make you collectible by giving you stuff to talk about, by giving you some jumping off point in history, so your conversations are a little more informed. Maybe you know a little bit more about the news, because if you're getting it off your social media or the AM radio, then I don't think you're going to be very informed. Okay, we're getting close to the bottom of this box. My arms are about to fall off. Should have positioned this a little closer. Let's see if I can get it closer. In fact, I'm just going to make this view full screen. That way you don't have to see me contorting my... All right, sorry about that. My audio just decided to die on me. Okay, so I'm just going to position myself a little closer to these cards. I'll clean up my mess. All right, so as I was saying, the kids, bless their heart, they'll sometimes ask if these cards are worth any money. And I tell them that, my job is to make you all collectible. I want you to have something to talk about with people, or at least have some sort of, ignition switch click in your mind at some point that, hey, you know what? If I read the back of these cards, maybe I could go ahead and take out my phone and learn more about this topic and maybe even find a book about it. Because you're not going to be able to censor those as long as you physically possess them. And as far as books go, when you read enough of them and you gain a bit of insight about certain topics in history, then all you do is you pick up a book and you go right to the back of the index and you start checking out subjects, and then you flip to those pages, and if they jive with what you've already known and they give you a little bit more insight, then hey, that's probably a good book. It's not that hard. Maybe I'm talking like a simpleton. I mean, I think a lot of you already know that. It's just, I don't know. I feel like I have to verbalize that. It's embarrassing, but I just feel like I have to make that clear. Now, if you're ever in the Houston area, then there are a couple of bookstores that I would highly, highly, highly recommend. I'd say number one on the list is way up north in Tomball, and there you'll find an antique store called Elite Antiques. And it's one of those places where you have to kind of turn sideways to walk around. And there's a whole half of the store is devoted to books. And there are some real gems there. And anytime I'm up at Tomball, I try to stop in and say hi and peruse their shelves. There's another good one in off of 59 near I guess that's, where is that, near Buffalo Speedway? I think so. But it's called Quarter Price Books. And the only thing I don't care much for is the title, because it's not quarter price, okay? A lot of those books are actually either cover price or double. Hey, we got a duplicate of the 64 Coinage Act. Got another shiny. Okay. I also really, really like a bookstore called Becker's. And Becker's is one of those houses that have been converted into a bookstore. And that's a tight squeeze. I mean, you have definitely got to watch yourself, or you're just going to die in an avalanche of paperbacks. But they've got some really good gems there. And they also have just tubs and tubs of old periodicals. And there's the McCollum memo. That's a good one, because that's actually a photo of the battleship Texas, which is parked at near the San Jacinto Monument near the Gulf. And I just aged that photo to make it look like it was of the time during World War II. Okay. Bonus March. I'm just going to take the rest of these packs out so I don't have to reach into the box. We're at the tail end here. It's still a tough reach, but well, if I can get the right tab. There we go. There is a proper way to open these. And if you are worried about bending your cards, you can always use some scissors like a gentleman. But I'm kind of an ape, so I'll just rip into stuff. I just want to have them. And yes, I am going to save 1 or 2 boxes of Series 1 and put it on my shelf or in some closet for the future, so my grandkids can go, wow, you were kind of nuts, weren't you? I go, yep, that's me. And we got another shiny. What do we got here? We got the Smithsonian Agreement. I think I've already got that card, so that one can be yours if you don't have it already. Okay. And the way the ultra rare cards break down, we'll cover that in a minute, because I got a feeling there's going to be one more shiny in here. Just got a feeling. I think I'm just going to open it from the bottom from now on. That tab business is really bothering me. Whoop. Okay. Alan Dulles, DDT, Strategy of Tension, Postmodernism, Prohibition, Sykes-Picot, Biometrics, and and we got Civil Asset Forfeiture, DynCorp. Oh, and we got a black and a silver DynCorp. Okay, that's cool. Doubled that one up. I don't think I have DynCorp at all. Well, I might. Sheep dipping, UNESCO. Open these up with your friends, and you can find out just how many conversations you can have. Now, I will say that Series 2 is definitely spicy. There are some subjects in there that are going to make some folks upset, but you just got to remember, it's nothing personal. It's just history. Because some of this stuff makes me upset. Plus, I think it's a fun way to kind of just laugh at it. Operation Ranch Hand. I don't know how many of those I have. That one seems harder to find than a lot of the others. I don't know why. I don't think I changed the rarity on that. I do have some control over what is rare and what isn't. But for some reason, I just don't think I have all of those. Well, regardless, we'll fill in the holes here in a bit. I'm almost done opening these. And depleted uranium, aspartame, F, the EU, Trilateral Commission, Operation Mockingbird, District of Columbia Organic Act. We're down to the final two. Now, I could wait to open these, or I could leave them sealed. And I could just send sealed packs to somebody if they answer maybe a trivia question. All right? I really want to get people to reach out. Okay? I'm really, really, really trying to get more people interested in this stuff. So by now, hopefully some of you have maybe passed this link along. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to set these 2 packs aside. And if I still got a hole or two to fill in my binder, I might open these. But maybe not. So let's clear off some of this mess, and let's start filling in the gaps. Let's see what we got. And I guess we can start with the shinies. That way it's clear what... Golly, this is quite a mountain I have in front of me. Whew. That's some interesting sweaty work. Maybe that's why I don't know. I don't really know what I'm doing, so bear with me. I just kind of, I'm all guts sometimes, no forethought. Juggle this, move this. Don't want to bend anything, because if you get one of these cards, you're going to be upset if it's all bent and messed up because of my dumb, clumsy fingers. Yeah. All right. So getting back to the binder. Okay. So I guess the first thing we need to do is straighten up the camera because that looks like garbage. There we go. And we got our stack. And I didn't really think too much ahead about how I'm going to do this. So I can flip through some of these, and let's just go with Operation Northwoods, John Brennan, and Fluoride. And put my 2 image there. Okay, so let's go through these. Dun, 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 dun. This could be painful. Do you really want to see me do this the entire time? Oh, I got that one. Oh, I got that one. Oh, I got that one. That's how I feel sometimes. Maybe it's better if we just sort these off by number. Okay, so we got our 20s, we got our 17s, 50s, 50s. Okay, this might go a little faster. I don't want to waste everybody's time. I mean, I appreciate anybody watching this, but I also understand how frustrating it would be to see somebody doing a menial task. So what else can I talk about? Well, coming up, there is a show this weekend. It's off the Gulf Freeway, just around Hobby Airport, and it's a sports card show. And it we'll see what the turnout is. I'm optimistic as usual. I'm always optimistic. I think show weekends are fun weekends. They're productive and helps me work on my pitch because I am all business. I want people to be absolutely floored when they see this product, and that's the game. And then there are some interesting shows that cater to creators. So there is, believe it or not, there's a couple of shows that let you have booths where you're a creator, you get a discount rate, and you're with other creators or artists, and you can show off your stuff with other artists, and perhaps attract more of a following of people that appreciate local handmade stuff. I've never done one of those. I'm new to everything. It's a whole different world. It's fun. It's just, I'm not scared of the new. I'm just, I just wish I had more time to focus on making cards, but I gotta go ahead and do what I can to get Series 2 made, and this is just part of the job. I'm committed. I love these cards. I love every single thing about them, and I have taken the survey advice because some of you have completed the online survey of what you think, and I'm taking all that feedback to heart. Believe me, I am. And Series 2 is reflected a lot of that. So Series 2 is going to have one standardized font. I thought it'd be kind of neat to have like different fonts for every subject, but I realized that can be a little hard on the eyes, and so I just stuck with one standard format for the font. And then there are some special requests subjects that I did incorporate in Series 2. And then there's going to be there's actually going to be some cards made by other artists. I reached out to a couple of artists and gave them some subjects, and they made some designs, and so I hope that grows. It'd be kind of cool to have like a bunch of other artists contribute, make this a really big collaborative effort. Who knows where this is going to lead? Like I've always said to people jokingly, but half jokingly, I mean, in 20 years, it'd be kind of cool to have like a Plunder World theme park with roller coasters and, stuff that'll really, imagine there's like 5 different lands, just like Disney World, where, you got your, the medical industrial complex, or, secret society land, the big giant roller coasters, like as above, so below. I mean, I could, man, I think I'm going to dream about that tonight. All right, we're getting almost through the stack. And I think we're already getting some numbers that I need. 60s, 60s, 60s. There's some single digits. I need the single digits. We got a place to start. I don't have any real... I did have an interesting question by somebody who looked at the cards this weekend. They want to know if I was going to do anything with Hawaii. I thought, well, that's a fair question. I mean, I do have like a card or two about World War II and the Pearl Harbor attack, but the history of Hawaii is pretty sad especially if you know that, God, what's the name of the song that you always hear when you get off the cruise ship? Somebody out there knows it, but just look at the origin of that song, and you'll realize just how sad it is. It's really the last lament of the Queen of Hawaii as her island is being repossessed by the colonial empire of the United States. But to be fair, I don't know. I mean, at some point, I think Hawaii would have been on somebody else's list. I'm not saying it's justifiable, but I can't exactly imagine how Hawaii would turn out if China got their hands on it. 60s, 70s. See, I didn't think this part through. I almost need a cohort here to help me do this in real time. As I hand them a card, they can go ahead and put it in the folder for me. You turn the AC up. Yeah. And then I guess if anybody knows of any conventions around the country that are like more in line with this sort of material, please send me information. I mean, it doesn't mean I can go, but at least it's on my radar, and maybe something will break through that allows me to go. I would love to go out and meet some more like-minded people in other states, but it's sometimes literally not in the cards. And yeah, I don't know. I don't mind virtual friends, but it'd be a lot better if I could meet some folks in person. I mean, I don't want this to be my future, where the only time I get to meet like-minded people is virtually. I think that's no fun. Plus, the other thing is that I guarantee you, in person, I'm not like, oh, by the way, do you know about this book? Do you know about this story? Do you know about this conspiracy? Blah, blah. No. More likely, we're probably going to talk about fishing and bowling and, joking around. I'm pretty down to earth. I'm more of an outdoorsy kind of guy. I loved fish. I loved to bowl. I liked to camp. I like to barbecue. I mean, I'm just one of those, I just want to grill guys. But the last thing I want to do is meet some like-minded folks, and then the only thing we're going to do is try to, out-knowledge one another. I don't want to do that. I don't mind talking about that kind of stuff, but, let's be friendly first. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm not one of those weirdos that's just, that smells bad and hasn't showered in a long time because all I do is read books and stay awake at night. Although I do read a lot of books at night. In fact, right now I'm reading a flowery history of the Rothschild family, told from the perspective of what a wonderful, wonderful service they provided Europe in their financial dealings. But there's some other interesting tales coming out of that book. Anybody that's seen the film about the House of Rothschild, the film does take some liberties. It didn't exactly. It's not like it's not like those kids were surrounding their father on the deathbed and he was dispatching them to, the far corners of Europe. No. They were already well established in Europe before Amschel passed away. Let's see, 40. We're almost through the stack. And believe me, if you got other things to do than watch me pour through these cards, then I completely understand. But if you want some freebies, then you gotta stick with it. And I'd say the pre-sales for Series 2, I mean, we're getting there, but man, I'm gonna need like at least 50 or 60 other pre-orders to really get that print job completed. I'm upping the amount of boxes for Series 2 because it is selling a little faster at shows, and I want to go to more shows. Man, does that get eyeballs? It really does. And the irony is that even though I'm out of Houston, I don't have any mail orders at all for Houston. Nobody in Houston's getting these cards except at shows. So what's up with that? But Houston's kind of turned into a hole. It's not the town I fell in love with. Yes, most of my life has been spent in Houston, And it is not the town that I fell in love with. Long gone are the days of seeing the Rockets play at the Summit. Believe it or not, the basketball arena where the Rockets used to play is now Lakewood Church. That's where that clown Joel Osteen does his ministry from now. Yes, an old basketball arena has been converted into that mega church, Lakewood, that you see on the televangelist shows. In fact, I think, was it 2 years ago, maybe a little longer, there was some sort of leak or plumbing job getting done at Lakewood, and I don't know why this was reported to the news, but there was some contractor who broke down a wall, and behind it, a whole bunch of, like, just cash money came spilling out. I mean, if that isn't the metaphor for prosperity evangelism, I don't know what is. Speaking of, that's actually a subject in Series 2. Anybody my age and older probably grew up with the likes of Benny Hinn and Robert Tilton and Kenneth Copeland. And then even before him, you had Oral Roberts. By the way, Kenneth Copeland was a pilot for Oral Roberts, and that's how he got started in the game. And I highly recommend a movie. It's a documentary called Marjo. I think you can watch it for free on one of the channels or one of the sites, and it documents this guy named Marjo. God, he's got a funny last name. I always forget his last name, but what he was one of these child preachers. His parents trained him to be really theatrical and start talking about the Gospels. It's like young as 5 and 6. He was even conducting full-fledged weddings. And so he did this for a while, but his parents coached him on how to get the most money out of a congregation. There'd be plants in the audience, and they'd say something like, praise Jesus, and that meant that the crowd was getting a little tired, and they needed to bring up the energy. And then somebody else might say, hallelujah, and that meant, okay, they're ready to give, so start passing the plates around. Well, anyways, Marjo was getting burned out. He even wrestled with atheism, and he did something very amazing. He invited a camera crew to go with him on a tour where they could see him on camera fleecing all these people in real time. And it is absolutely amazing. So I highly recommend Marjo. Okay, so enough of that. I got my stacks. So we got them all separated by a number, so it should be a lot easier to find. And we'll just tap these out so they're good and flat. Nice, neat order. And then we'll fill in our gaps, and I think that'll be it for tonight. Ugh. And then, like I said, reach out to me. Come on. I want to know what you need to complete your collection. Okay? I can't tell you enough how grateful I am for all the support. I mean, it is just, it just brings a tear to my eye to think that there are a lot of people out there all over the country that have a box of my cards in their office or their bedroom or their kitchen table. That's just so cool. I just think that's neat. Okay. So, let's check out our first page. All right. So here we go. The single digits. So we need some. Okay, I got all the fluorides, so I don't need those. Got a John Brennan and a Northwoods document. Northwoods document black. Okay, I've already got that one. John Brennan black. All right, boom, got him. And then Northwoods document gold. Got him. Boom. John Brennan silver. Oh, hey, all right, we got a full page. Okay. Tuck those bad boys. Well, that's a good sign. I was worried I was going to get skanked on the first page. Get upset at my own cards. All right, full page. Moving on. All right, So I got everything here except a Prescott Bush Silver. Let's see. We got a Prescott Bush Silver. Please, 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 please. No. Okay, so if anybody out there's got a Prescott Bush Silver, hey, let's talk. Let's trade. Okay? So, moving on. So I need whatever number 7 is. I don't even have that one. So what is number 7? Number 7, it appears, okay, Operation Ranch Hand. Okay, so Operation Ranch Hand. See, I knew that one was hard to find. Okay, so we need Mendel House, and we need John Foster. Mendel House Gold, got that one already. Okay. Mendel House Silver, got that one already. No, John Foster Gold, bam, got him. Okay. And no other Operation Ranch Hands. Are no Colonel Edward Mendel House Blacks. All right, well, shucks. I guess that means you got some leverage on me if you have those cards. I will definitely trade you. Let's talk. All right, is that it for... Yeah, that's it for the 10, or the single digits, the ones. Move on to the tens. All right, bonus march and churches. Churches 501c3. That's kind of related to Marjo and that prosperity Christianity. I mean, no offense to Christians. I mean, look, I'm a firm believer in the Lord and His Son. But I think the government telling churches what they can and can't preach is an abomination and a compromise that I don't think they should put up with. All right, got my churches black. Let's see, bonus march gold, bonus march gold. Bam, got it. Bonus march gold. All right. Well, it's a bummer I don't have those other cards ahead of so it looks like I'm still going to live with some holes. But you know what? I still got 2 packs left. Should I open those? Wouldn't that be funny? Okay, the only one I need here is Botanical Car Silver. Do we have it? Do we have it? Botanical Car Silver. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. There it is. Got it. All right. Well, hey, this isn't as bad as I thought it would be. I thought I was going to have a lot more holes. Okay, so we need Frank Sturgis, Barry Seal, and Space Weapons. Barry Seal Silver. Oh, no, I got Barry Seal. I got all of him. I just need Frank Sturgis and Space Weapons. Gold. Got him. All right, Frank Sturgis. Nope, no Frank. No Frank at all. No Frank. Where's Frank? All right. So, got our Space Weapons. And I still got 2 packs. Okay, so now we need quite a bit here. But I think the only one for that is going to have to be Woodrow Wilson. I don't think I saw him in any of these. So he's got to be silver, and nope, unless he's in those other 2 packs. Okay, so that wipes out the teens. All right, moving on to the 20s. What do I do with the 20s? There we go. All right, so we need Solomon James Rothschild and the 1033 program. I need quite a bit. Let's see, 1033, I need gold. Okay, got my Solomon gold. Got Solomon silver, 1033 gold. No, there's 1033 gold. How about Solomon silver? Solomon silver, come on, come on. Come on. Skunk. All right, dadgummit. Bleh. That bites. But I got these. Because it's kind of embarrassing. I'll go to these card shows and I'll tell them, hey, these are some samples of the cards, but I don't even have a full set of my own cards. It's kind of a drag. Okay. My back. If I turn myself a little sideways, this will be a little easier on me. Okay. We need Dennis Hastert, Bohemian Grove, and George Counts. Bohemian Grove Silver. Nope. No. Oh, Dennis Hastert Gold. Okay. George Counts Black. Yeah, hey, all right. And then I got a silver. Dennis Hastert. That's what we need. Come on, Bohemian Grove. Come on, Bohemian Grove. Bohemian Grove Silver. No. Shucks. Okay. Hope you're taking notes. Maybe I'll go back through the rest of these when we're done. And I can make my own trade list. Anybody out there that's really smart about designing websites or has a really cool idea of how to come up with like a trade list program, go ahead, make one. I don't care. Just let me know about it so I can join because I want to complete my set. All right, ADHD, Anthrax Attack, and OKC. Okay, ADHD, Silver, nope. No. Okay, ADHD, got plenty of those, are common. Anthrax Attack, Silver, nope. Okay, ADHD, Black. And we're looking Anthrax Attack. Oh, geez. Man, I got skunked on all three of those. That's a drag. Huh. Thought I'd have at least one of those. Okay. Fine. Be that way. Okay, so the only one I need here is gain of function silver. Gain of function silver. Nope. Oh, hey, all right, good. At least that page is full. I think that's it for the 20s. Get in there. Okay. And, ooh, I got quite a few holes here. And we're moving on to the 30s. All right. So what we need here. IPC and Operation Mockingbird. Operation Mockingbird. Black. Gotcha. Okay. Is that a silver? Nope. It's not a silver. Operation Mockingbird. Silver. Hey, check it out. Okay. I need IPC. Silver. Come on. Where you at? Come on. Silver. Come on. Got skunked on that one. Shucks. Okay. Moving on. And, ooh, this is, man, that's intimidating. What is this? I need 35. I don't even know what 35 is. Let's find that number first. 35 is, okay, central bank digital currencies. Okay, got one. So I need District of Columbia Black. All right. And then, so, nope, that's gold. Operation, nope, already went there, that one. Mate one, got that one already. Excuse me. Nope, that one's gold, that one's common. I got all the golds for that side. Come on. Nope, and nope. Ooh, that's a hard page to fill. Jeez. And, you could tell me in the comments or in any way you can reach me, are your pages about the same as mine when it comes to the harder to find cards? It'd be nice to know. All right. Nation Rebuilding, Laura Silsby, Trilateral Commission. Okay, black, nope, got that one. Come on, let's fill this page. Come on, make me happy. Fill the page. Nope. Hey, there's a gold Laura Silsby. Okay, come on. Nation Rebuilding, silver. Nope, that's black. Gold, got that one. Oh, Lord, I think I might get stomach. Trilateral Commission, gold. Okay, got all the golds. Come on. Operation Mockingbird, that's pretty common. Oh, got skunked on those 3 too. Jeez. I am eager to trade. Is that all the 30s? Yep, that's all the 30s. Okay, well, let's move on to the 40s. Where are my 40s at? There's the 40s. Whoops. I got stuck underneath my binder. All right. Ooh, I got a bunch of holes here. This is number 40. What's number 40? 45, 40, 44, 40. There we go. What we got? Oh, it's this fella, Johan Lang. Okay, so we need drone strikes. Who take over? And Johan. Who take over? Black? Got it. Okay. Johan, silver. Gotcha. And drone strike gold. Nope. Jeez. Man, there's a lot of pressure on these last 2 packs. I think I am going to open them. I'll get those in the binder. There we go. We'll throw them back out leading over like this. All right. Let's go with, let's see if we got any of these. Alan Dulles, no black. Alan Dulles, black. All right. Gotcha. Full set of Alan Dulles. Finder's gold. All right. Finder's black. Good. Abraham Flexner. Come on, let me fill this page. Come on. Let me fill this page. Flexner. No black. Well, shoot. Get the finders in there. I found the finders. Okay. Couple holes here. Alger Hiss silver. Yes, sir. And Rothblatt black. Yep. And there's a Rothblatt gold. And let's see. Need Hiss and income tax. Hiss, income tax, gold. Nope. Rothblatt, got that one. Income tax, gold. All right. Give me a Hiss black. Or a Hiss gold. Nope. No Hiss gold. Get that in there. I think my arm's getting numb. I'm going to have somebody in the family walk on my back. Okay, so this is getting towards the end of the 40s. Yeah, last one is going to be Lionel Walter. Got him, black. Give me come on, there's got to be there's a gold. All right, I have to look at the rest of these. Shoo. Probably rubbing the mic and bumping everything. Oh, this is so professional, James. Gosh. Okay. And we're in the 50s. And we need, there's quite a few there. Let's see what we got. Nope. Hey, there's a Wilhelm Wundt. Wait, sheep dipping. Oh, wait, I gotta go back. What am I doing? Sheep dipping and civil asset forfeiture. Sheep dipping black. Civil asset silver. And civil asset silver, got that one. Okay. Sheep dipping, nope. No, okay. At least you got those two. Okay, back to this page. And DynCorp silver, all right. And UNESCO silver, come on. Wilhelm Wundt silver, silver. I need lots of silver. And I don't have any silver. Crud. It's spotty, but we're getting there. Okay, now we got a big hole here. 55. What's that one? 55. You'd think I'd have all these memorized by now. 55. What's that one? Okay, Vaccine Protection Act. So George Dooley silver. Gotcha. Ugh, my arms. Then Inky Till silver. No dice. And we got these backwards. Silver, no. George Dooley got him all the way. Inky Till silver, hot dog. Okay, Vaccine Protection Act. Nope. Okay. We're definitely opening those other two packs. All right. Weather modification and DDT. Wait, is DDT? No, that's in the 60s. So weather modification silver. That's all we need. Come on, give me a silver, whatever. There we go. Okay, great. All right. Are we in this? Okay, so let's just go back to 60 because I'm missing a DDT. That was Jake the Snakes Roberts' move. I think I'm going to have all the 60s. That's a pretty good stack of 60s. So DDT black. DDT black. There we go. I figured I'd have that one. All right. Postmodernism, Prohibition, and Janet Airlines. Okay, Postmodernism black. I got all the golds, so I don't need that. Postmodernism black. Nope. Janet Airlines black. Nope. Postmodernism black. Okay, cool. Oh, my arms. Prohibition black. Prohibition silver. Come on, Janet Airlines black. Come on, let's fill this. Fill it. Come on. Okay, good. I was getting towards the end of that stack. I was worried. Complaining about my own cards. Whoop. I don't think I'll do this setup again. I'm going to have arms as long as spaghetti by the end of this. Get in there. Okay. Okay. There should be, what is that, 63? Okay. So WTC, Heart Attack Gun, and Felix. And come on. Should see something by now. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding? Okay, silver, finally. Heart Attack Gun, silver. Felix. There we go. Heart Attack Gun. No. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's complete. Felix black. Wait, give me a heart attack gun gold. Are you kidding after all that? You'd think I got a big stack of silvers, or a big stack of the 60s, so you'd think I'd have all of them. Man. Okay. Lean this a little better. Nope. Postmodernism, nope. Biometrics black, nope. Sykes-Picot, so black. Biometrics black. Biometrics silver. And prison blood gold. Thank you very much. I need Sykes-Picot silver and biometrics gold. Biometrics gold. Sykes-Picot silver. Come on. Let's complete the page. Yeah, okay. Full page. I feel justified. All right. Oh, man, we got some major holes here. So that's actually starting the 70s. So I got a thin stack of 70s. I hope I got them all. Let's see. So that's going to be 70, 71, 72. What are those? Shucks. Get those. 70. Come on. 72. Bernard Baruch. There we go. 71. All right. Mount Carmel door. So good. I would like that artwork. I was really like that one. Okay. So Mount Carmel door and Bernard Baruch. That's what we're after. Mount Carmel door black. Bernard Baruch black. Mount Carmel door silver. And Bernard Baruch gold. Oh, jeez. So those two are hard to find. Okay. Oh, we got another big hole here. So that's 73, that's 74. 74 is going to be Mr. Huxley. All right. COVID lockdown. Okay, Frankfurt School. Oh my gosh. Come on. Really? Jeez. Okay, well, I got a COVID lockdown black. Got a Huxley black. Frankfurt School. No. Okay. There's a lot of pressure on these last two packs, let me tell you that. Okay, camera's all messed up there. Moving on. Okay, I think that's stuck together. Okay. I think I can fill this page. I got a good feeling about it. Yep. Nope. Okay, McCollum memo, black. United Nations, black. Oh, got a silver MCOs. McCollum memos full. NCO gold. Nope. Oh my gosh. Come on. Give me one. Oh. And I'm going through these pretty quick, so it might be worth reviewing my stack after the stream. Is that it for the 70s? Oh, no. I got two more. No, just one more. Okay, Event 201 Black. Okay, I think I got that one. Pretty sure. Yeah, I got it. Okay, cool. Whoop. I'll rip my cable out. Okay, home stretch. Finish out the 80s and Magic number 90. So we need Michael Chertoff and World War I public relations. Oh, good. Got that one. Chertoff silver. Come on, Chertoff black. Chertoff black. Chertoff black. All right, filled that page. This has got some holes. I'm a little worried about this one. Let's see. Bolshevik, Guy, and strategy attention. Uh-oh. Come on. Come on. Okay. It's a start. Okay. Holy smokes. Jeez, that page was like... Sorry, sucker. All right, Porter Goss and Project Gun Runner. Porter Goss, I need the gold. And Gun Runner, nope. Porter Goss gold, nope. Wait, did I have Chertoff gold? Yeah, I had Chertoff gold. And Porter Goss gold, got him. Gunrunner gold, got it. Okay. Lily, Tavistock, and depleted uranium. Got that one. All right. Lily, black. All right. Tavistock, black. All right. Depleted uranium, black. Well, that wasn't such a chore. Jeez. That just pretty much landed in my lap. And that just brings us to the shinies. Will he have a full set of shinies? So I got the Smithsonian agreement. Ah, yes. And the Coinage Act. That's number 3. Silver. Got that one. Nixon Shock. Should be number gold 3. Yep. And then I think I actually got the full set of shinies because there's the Sherman Silver Purchase Act. Hey, full set of shinies. All right. Which means I got 4 shinies to trade with somebody. Okay. Well, maybe more. So just to be absolutely sure, we're going to open these other 2 because, man, I put in all this work. Might as well try to get the fruits of it. I mean, it's worth it if there's like maybe 2 or 3 other holes I can fill. Thank you for anybody that's sticking with me this long. This is, you know, I'm not doing it with baseball cards, hockey cards, or Pokemon cards. This is the kind of history that I obsess over. All those dark, scary subjects that keep me awake at night and make me question how we got to this point in history. By the way, interesting fact about Bohemian Grove. You know, there's a Belizean Grove. Oh, there's another shiny. Bretton Woods. Look at that. But I've already got that one. So, yeah. It was worth opening the other 2 packs. All right. So I'll quickly order these. 50, 50s, 70s, 20s, 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 60s, 60, 80, 80, 30. Where'd you come from? 20s, 20s. Okay. So, let's see, 70s, 60s, 50s, 30s, and 20s. That's an odd mix. So I got all the way to the 20s here. Whoop. I see my mess over there. I'm fairly tidy, but man, when I get a project going, things just kind of fly everywhere. Okay, so we do need silver, Solomon, and no dice. And then Bohemian Grove silver, that would be nice, but I don't think that's going to happen. George Counts gold, I don't think that's going to happen. Okay. And then OKC, Anthrax, oh, nope. ADHD, nope. Got that full. Okay. And silver IPC. No. Take a hike, James. Ain't happening. Now, this is an interesting page. There's a lot missing here. FDU. And yeah, there's nothing there. Oh, come on. I want to fill one of these. That would make me feel so much better. Okay, Nation Rebuilding, Laura Silsby. And Trilateral Commission. Take a hike. Not happening. Drone Strikes and Johan Lang. Nope. I don't suppose there's a Flexner in here. No. Okay, I guess I can just peel these off because they're not. Did I already pass UNESCO? Yeah, I think so. Well, I definitely don't have Helger Hiss. I know that much. I know I don't have any of those. Oh my gosh. I just have one of these. Wilhelm Wundt and UNESCO. Okay, I came across those. Hey, look at that. I actually got one. Hey, and I actually got a UNESCO silver. Well. Huh. Ooh. I keep knocking my stand over. Okay, Vaccine Act. Take a hike. Ain't happening. That one's full. That one's full. That makes me happy. Heart attack gun. No. That one's full. Oh, no, there's no way I have any of those. I think I'm well past those. Huxley and Frankfurt School. Frankfurt School gold? Nope. Okay. MCN, United Nations. No. Losing track here. That's full. Guy and Strategy of Tension. No. Portergoss. No Project Gunrunner in here, I don't think. Nope. And that's full. Okay, well, at least I got 2 out of those. All right, well, I think that's pretty much going to end it. Let's see. Anybody saying hi? No. Okay. Well, I appreciate everybody watching or watching in the future. And I would like to conclude by urging you, please, please, please reach out to me. I want to know what you need for your, I would like to know what you need for your collection. And then maybe we can work out a trade. Again, this is just for United States customers, and priority goes to people that have already bought some boxes and are wanting to build their sets. I'm eager to reach out with what I have if you reach out with yours. And besides, I mean, even if you're new, even if you have never experienced Plunder World, then, hey, I'll gladly send you a few cards, okay? I'll even throw in a sticker. But go to plunderworld.com to pre-order a box of Series 2. There's still some boxes of Series 1 left. You can get those. And I appreciate everybody who's been watching. And so I will say good night for now. All right? Appreciate it, y'all.